I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And we continue with our Thrice thingamajiggy.
Yep.
Silver Wings. I'm assuming this is the wind.
It's gotta be.
It's got to be the wind.
Because then the next is Child of Dust. That's gotta be Earth.
The last two we did fire, water, and then this is wind and earth. It's dealing with the four elements. Pretty interesting stuff. From the big homie, this is Ayo. Shout out to big homie Ayo. Tell the beautiful people how they can get their song reviewed.
There's a couple different ways. One is if you want to just go on any of our socials and tell us what you want, and that, may or may not get reacted to. It just depends. And also, a better way to do it is on our live streams, to kind of bring it up in a live stream. We usually take 1 or 2 songs from there. Another way is to join an alliance. It's on Patreon. So most reaction channels, they actually cut up all of their songs. You'll notice they stop the song.
Much respect to them. Much love to them. Go watch them. Support them.
The way that's a way to break it up so that way you don't get copyrighted and then they take your monetization away. So instead, we decided to start Patreon, and then people are like, yeah, this content's worth $1 a month to me, and so people will jump on, and if we get a certain number of our patrons to do that, then we will definitely be able to go full time, which is our hope and dream. But in the meantime, so that's the way to do that. You can jump on there, join an alliance, a group of other people that are like-minded and kind of like the things that you like, and you work together to influence the songs that we're going to get listened to. The other option is to just go say, you know what, I just want to get my song reacted to. I don't want any more fooling around. So then you jump on the $125 tier or go through PayPal. Links are in the description. And you let us know what song it is, and you drop your money and let us know how much, which song it is that you want us to react to, and we will put that on our short list. If you do that with us 3 or more times, it doesn't matter if it was last year or whatever, if you've done it with us 3 or more times, then we'll actually, you can go through at the $75 price instead of the $125. So, Ayo is the one that picked these songs, and this is something special where we're doing 2 songs in one reaction. That's not something that we typically do. That's something that, we talked about with Ayo. So, anyway, that's where we're at. So now we're about to go into Silver Wings, which I'm assuming is the wind. Ready?
The dude from that other band and that dispute that we had just confirmed your interpretation of the song.
I was correct.
So you were correct.
She was destructive.
He said that she was extremely toxic.
I told you.
When he would leave, she would reel him back in.
Right. All right, shout out to me. That's for
That was for that band, Fist of Five.
Okay, Fist of Five, yeah.
Who also hit us with a copyright strike. Thank you very much. Let's go.
Ridiculous.
Whoa. I'm not gonna do the 2-song thing and then go back. Not doing that. we gotta do it one at a time. Because I don't want to do these songs any injustice. So Silver Wings. So this is about the wind. He did something really interesting here, though, with the wind, because he also used the wind in the John 3 sense. Right? So go ahead, just go for it, because it looks like the song was pretty touching to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, because can you pull up the lyrics?
Yeah.
When from tender years you took me for granted. It sounded, obviously I was like, this is about the wind. But I still, okay, when it got to the part, when it was talking about, where is it? It's right over here.
I drew the poison from the summer sting.
Yeah, and ease the fire out of your fevered skin. I moved in you and stirred your soul to sing. And if you'd let me, I would move again. So for me, it was like, so in the Bible, it talks about the Holy Spirit also being, it's like he's personified as the wind. And so... Well,
it's literally the same Greek and Hebrew term. The Greek term for wind and the Greek term for spirit is literally the same word. It's pneuma. So when Jesus is talking about the spirit, those born of the spirit, he uses the term, the translators in English go between spirit and wind, and he says, the wind blows, you don't know where it's going or where it's coming from. So it is with everyone born of the spirit. Mm-hmm. And in Greek, it's the pneuma blows this way and that, you don't know where it's coming from. So it is with everyone born of the pneuma. Mm-hmm. So it's Jesus was very smart, very ironic. Continue.
So obviously that was what was in my head when it hit that part. And so like when I originally heard I drew the poison from the summer sting and eased the fire out of your fevered skin, that to me was just like what it sounds like, when it's super hot.
Yeah.
And then the wind blows and you feel better. We took our walk yesterday and I was like, I put my arms out because the wind was blowing. It felt so good.
Yeah.
And then ease the fire out of your fevered skin. I just pictured somebody who was like having a fever and the wind blows and it makes them feel better. But then when it said, I moved in you and stirred your soul to sing. Yes, the wind, the literal wind has done that for me. Like when it's made me feel happy. And actually I have sung out in the wind before and stuff like that. But it was more like God's spirit and like when God's spirit moves and he stirs my soul to sing. And then it says, if you would let me, I would move again. That was where it really got me because I've kind of shared, my story somewhat before, but, I went through a really difficult time through my divorce and the way that the people around me, church people, handled the situation and didn't protect me as the victim, protected, the other person, and just... It was a messy situation and it was extremely hurtful because sometimes it's hard to separate God from the people who call himself by their name and by his name. And so like I've been going through like a long sort of trek through the desert, I guess you could say. Like I still love God and I still like talk to him and stuff, but as far as like being close like that where he like moves in me and causes my soul to sing, I'm not really like that anymore. Actually, that was one of the things I was praying about the other night. I was like, I just miss those times. So then it changed the meaning of the words before. I eased the fire out of your fevered skin. We'll scroll up a little bit more. I drew the poison from the summer sting. The summer sting wasn't literally the sun, but it was just, even though those times were very difficult for me, like I still feel like that God was there and he was helping me through it. And so like, I kind of feel like, and then at the end where it said, and after all of this, I'm amazed that I'm cursed far more than I'm praised. That part made me sad too, because it was like sometimes I feel angry with God, or because the way that things went and how hurtful things got. So anyway, that's, and really like when I think about the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, like the Holy Spirit has always like he's always been my thing. So like I I think I went through different times where I was like, wow, like the God of the Old Testament is not the way that I see him, is not the way that you explain him. Or when I see it when I'm looking at it now, like the view that I had as a child is very different from what I'm like, wait, I'm like venturing into these thoughts of how he could be, you know, more like a good father. So, yeah, I guess it's just, can you just pull up those lyrics again?
Yeah.
I think it's just, you know, it kind of made sense to me if I would be like, wow, like the God of the Old Testament, like God the Father, he's a little bit over the top, or, you know, viewing Jesus, you know what I mean, like different stuff like that. But like the Holy Spirit has, it's hard to say it, like ever since I was really, really little, like I always knew that God's Spirit was very, very close to me. And I kind of feel like that I definitely know that even like with God's Spirit, I was just kind of like, just, you all just go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, I think that like I don't feel bad about it, like I'm a bad person for doing that. I feel like it's understandable given the circumstances, but I feel like I feel lonely because I miss them in that capacity. Like I don't feel like they're far from me, but I feel like that sort of depth in relationship that I had is not, you know, I mean, most people are like, what is she talking about? This woman's crazy.
Yeah, it's always, I don't like, anytime I talk about it or you talk about it, the relationship with God and things like that, like I know that there's going to be a lot of people just not going to be able to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know,
it's like if you had a best
it's
friend
just impossible to understand,
that was completely relatable and like you loved your best friend, but then like maybe there was like a misunderstanding and so you're like, and like you go away from your best friend, but in your heart you kind of miss them. And then like as time progresses, you kind of realize you overreacted and you want to kind of, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, for me, you know, with the current situation happening right now, there is a lot of you feel very, very alone being a person in my situation with the current evangelical church. But I know it doesn't appear that way living with me right now, but I have received so much comfort in knowing that I am understood by, you know, by Jesus, that I'm really understood and I'm known because it's the current situation that we're in. But yeah, I
wouldn't say what you just said. Like, I know it doesn't look that way.
Oh, okay.
No, I always feel like you and God have this, like, well, I used to have like that closeness with him but I had so many things I had to work out with Grace and with, you know, with everything. That's kind of been like a long journey, but I always feel like that you understand that you can like pitch a fit or be bad, or you know what I mean, like if you're looking at it as a parent to child relationship,
yeah,
like you seem to me you're completely secure in his love for you and his like, you're just the best, you're the best. You know what I mean? So even when you're like in like,
I do know that he objectively loves me more than most people. I do know that.
You know that, of course he's gonna make you feel like that. But it like reminds me of like Orion. When Orion does stuff that's bad, I'm like, that's so bad, you shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, he's my son, and so like I think that you're right, and that God is. But I feel like you totally get that. You're like, well, you know, you're not gonna do something wrong and continually live day after day after day.
No, I'm not gonna try to shame the family name.
Right.
You know, I take a lot of pride in being a Christian. You know, and I try to you know, earn it every day. So no, I'm not gonna try to. But I also know that I'm completely and totally loved unconditionally.
Yeah, you seem very secure
and I'm
in
loved
it.
More than most people. I know that. So.
Anyway.
Well, David said the same thing. He said, hey, is this the way that you commonly deal with people? And the answer is no. He's dealt with me in a way that he has not dealt with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So it's not a braggadocious thing. It's just that's how I feel. But you know, I mean, whatever. We'll see him soon. You can tell me I was crazy, but I don't think he will. But yeah, the spirit is such a. Like I said, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where if you haven't experienced it and you haven't walked in it, I get it. It sounds completely crazy and yada yada yada. And I completely understand it. I'm not mad at you for it. It's just been my experience my entire life, and the Spirit of God has been. Man, I could go on for hours and hours, but I'm not going to. I love this song. It's a really, really good song.
Me too, and it was different sonically again.
Yeah.
It reminded you of the wind.
Yeah, I've danced between the sunlit strands of your lover's hair. Whoo! I mean, every word in this song is crazy because it can be both. It can be both the actual wind and the actual Spirit of God. And, you know, I've pitted you and piled you. You know what's interesting is, like, the only person who I love being pitted by is God. Like, other human beings are like, I don't need your pity.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, but if God pities me, then it's the best thing in the world. So anyway, I got a lot of love for this song. This is a 9.9 for me.
Yeah, me too.
It's a 9. I thought you were gonna give it a 10. All right, we got to go to the next.
Well, I gave it a 9.9 because it wasn't long enough.
True.
I wanted to go on.
True.
So
you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
Okay, ready? Put your headphones.
All right, so
now we're doing this is going to be the Earth one. It's called Child of Dust.
I just think we should just do a 3-part of this thing or something like that. Like, there's no reason to put it all in the same video. Just put this one in the middle of the day and then the next one in the end.
Okay. All right. Well,
so cut that.
Just say Vin out.
Okay. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone. Come back for the last part.
After all.